Hey everybody, today I want to cover a few things, the past, the present, and the future of Battlefield series in general. I've touched upon this before, but I'm really disappointed in Battlefield 4 just because I think some of the game modes that should have won in the game aren't or are not very good. Starting with Rush, I've mentioned this, I know, but Rush in this game is not very good. This map here, Dawnbreaker, is one of the better ones, I think. It's not great, but it's about the best this game has to offer. Most of them are just subpar. They're not that much fun. The flanking routes are very poor, if any, and it just does not work very well. It's fairly clear that DICE decided to go more with the conquest in this game and a little bit of obliteration. Some of them are fairly good obliteration, and that itself isn't that bad of a mode, but my favorite mode by far is Rush, and they've really let me down. Now in Battlefield 3, it wasn't perfect at it, but there's quite a few good Rush matches you would have. And Battlefield Bad Company 2 was actually pretty well known for its Rush matches being excellent. That was the main mode, but here it's obviously they put no thought into it and didn't really freaking try. Or at least that's how it seems to be to me. And I know every time they release a DLC, I'm always like, oh, is the Rush going to be good? The Rush going to be good? And I'm constantly disappointed. China Rising was, I think, fairly poor. And Second Assault isn't that bad. They're not my favorite maps, really, for Rush, because Metro is Metro. Firestorm wasn't too bad after that first set. I've always hated the first set in many of them, because I know it's kind of their way to see if your team's going to make it or not by making the first set fairly hard. But Firestorm always sucked in the beginning. I thought it's just sniper heaven. Caspian Border actually is a little bit better in this game than it ever was in Battlefield 3, just because of the cover makes it a little better. But I rarely find a server that's playing Caspian Border and Rush. It's almost always Conquest. And Gulf of Oman is an excellent map in basically every mode, but I rarely ever run into a server running this. And the Naval Strike maps aren't that great at Rush. They're okay, but they're not that much fun. There's more reasons than just the map layout, though. A lot of it has to do with things like the commander. The commander really screws you if it's commander, and typically most servers run with the commander or it's just there by default. And you got the fact that with just one button press, he can light your entire team up. And typically in Rush, it's a real big deal because you need to sneak up there if you're attacking and take it, and usually by using quite a bit of teamwork. But you can't really do that when the defensive team who are basically, I don't want to call it camping, because in Rush, I mean, if you're defending, you are basically somewhat camping. But if you know where the other team's coming at you from, it's pretty darn easy to take them out. I mean, as defense, unless your team's that much poorer than the other people, you should win in almost every situation unless the map is extremely unbalanced. It's just one of those things where I wish there was no option for Commander and Rush. Conquest is not so bad. Everything's spread out enough where having that one little radar doesn't really affect the game as a whole. And Obliteration, it's not that bad either, but I think in Rush it should be off like in Domination or Team Deathmatch, where it doesn't really make any sense. Also, a thing that doesn't make much sense at all to me is why so many servers that do play Rush want to play 64-man Rush. That's usually always a fail. You basically, as attacker, cannot win unless they stick the tickets extremely high. And if the tickets are high enough, it's either you're being camped to death, or it's pretty easy to eventually win. And that's just stupid. It should be based on teamwork and how well you actually play to win, not because you have 250 tickets. That's just stupid. As far as I'm concerned, the best ticket count for Rush is 32, or maybe as much as 42, but anything above that, it's just too big of a mess. It's a little too crazy. Now this next DLC called Dragon's Teeth, which reportedly for premium members is going to hit May 3rd and public May 17th, based off of a rumor on a post. Who knows how true that is. But anyway, it's supposed to be about urban combat and closer quarters, at least. I'm not going to say close quarters like Close Quarters Battlefield 3, but a little bit tighter net fighting, which, again, would sound great for a Rush. And actually, I want them to bring back Scavenger. Scavenger from Aftermath was actually quite a bit of fun. I know it wasn't like the most popular thing, but I found it quite a bit fun getting all the different weapons and having to rely on your pistol skills and your skills with a multitude of weapons. It kept people from just doing the same old M16A3 shit all day long. Now, since this is going to be urban combat, it would be very nice if they actually included Scavenger back into it and made Rush well balanced instead of just throwing some flag points on there and a couple for domination and say, hey, look at these new maps. They pretty. Because at this point, it's pretty clear that they don't really test this stuff. It's obvious from the bugs, it's obvious from the lazy map design that they're more worried about how it looks and how the weather effects blow a tree around or smoke and waves than anything else. Because it's stupid to have only one game mode that's actually somewhat balanced. I guess you could say obliteration's not bad, but I mean, how could you screw that up? Throw a bomb in the middle of the thing and some points evenly placed. But, you know, they can't get Rush right at all in this game. One glimmer of hope they're actually going to do this is the fact they're bringing a ballistic shield of some sort, a two-handed ballistic shield to protect you and the people behind you going down tight hallways, which in Rush would be a very good thing if you had at least one teammate carrying one of these, keeping you alive. At the same time, who knows? Who knows how they're going to implement this, because I can't imagine in Conquest that being worth running around with a shield. But you never know. Maybe they're just going to do it for the hell of it. Nothing at this point would surprise me. And I'm sure since Naval Strike just released for everyone, we're going to see these map packs pretty soon in a trailer. They're going to be announcing this because they're going to want people looking at this in the next, what, 1 to 2 weeks? Especially if the rumors are true and it is coming out here in just a few weeks. As far as this video is concerned, sorry I fast forward through the slow bits. I thought it was a little too boring, and I just thought it was a good team-based game, and I needed some Rush to put up. If you enjoyed my video, I'd love hitting the like button there, and also please subscribe. And I have 2 videos here, the SR2 review and an F2000 review, both great weapons. And also, if you agreed with anything I said or disagreed, give me a comment. I love them. I like to hear what you guys think about this stuff.